Okay. When you are ready, introduce yourself, introduce the run, give me a countdown, and I will start the timer.
Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. My name is Garlips. And welcome to Mr. Blobby for the PC and DOS 1994. It's a wonderful game. I'm Garlips. Hi. I'm going to be running this game. I also have with me my very good friends, Escape Route British.
Hello.
And Mr. Matthew Internet.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And we're going to be doing the any percent today of Mr. Blobby, which is, well, I actually lowered the world record yesterday. So we're doing all right. I'm not worried about this one. It's the run after that I'm worried about. But don't worry, we'll get to that. Please do consider a donation if you're watching and we, our particular brand of J-Pre allows you to make a donation. I'm just going to get onto the password entry screen. Wow, I didn't know that. The screen the demo, showed the password screen, which is really weird. Why would you show that off? Anyway, right. We're going to go to the password screen because the any percent run uses a code to skip to the last level. There is an all levels category, and I do run it, and I also recently lowered that too. So, we're ready to go here, and I'll count us in if you like. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Mr. Blobby.
Hello, Blobby.
It's good to be back.
Now, Garlips, what's the objective of these stages?
So in Mr. Blobby, what you have to do, and by the way, this is a reskin of a Trolls game, apparently, so that just goes to show how low effort this was. You basically have to paint these gates that you see here. I call them gates, but, basically the blocks that are created by the combination of platform and ladder. And you need to paint all of these to complete the level.
Wow, that seems like a tall ask. Especially, look at this ladder in the middle. That's quite a difficult one to end up getting.
It is, but you will have already noticed that I actually jump and fall down ladders because that's faster than climbing. So, there are ways and means that Blobby has here at his disposal.
Now, I suppose one of the detriments to that is that we miss out on the glorious animation of Blobby wiggling his bum as he climbs down or up a ladder.
That is true, but don't worry, I might climb down a ladder just for you in a minute.
Oh, beautiful.
So there are enemies that kind of like dot around the place. You basically throw custard cream pie at them, and it renders them touchable. And then when you touch them, they disappear. So that's how you handle enemies in this game.
I'm getting a lot of because this has classic Amiga vibes.
Oh,
I'm getting a lot of James Pond 2 and 3 out of this.
Yes.
Is
absolutely.
that a coincidence?
No, I believe the same artist was one of the ones who worked on the Trolls game, of course, that this basically cribs. Do a couple of up and down ladders just for Mr. Matt there.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, speaking of, shall we say, posteriors, this was a part of a show, wasn't it? This was the Mr. Blobby character, for those who don't know what a Mr. Blobby is.
Yeah, so every time oh no, that's bad. Don't worry about it. I'll recover. Yeah, Mr. Blobby, the way I always describe it is Mr. Blobby was a group psychosis that the British people underwent in the early to mid-90s. Basically, we all agreed that this guy was the bee's knees and found him tremendously funny. He originates from a program called Noel's House Party, hosted by Noel Edmonds. Some people might know Noel Edmonds for his work on Deal or No Deal. He was the UK host for the first run of the show. But before that, he was a broadcaster in the UK and, had a great many shows. And then, of course, House Party, which included this thing he would call a gotcha, where he would basically have fun with people by, pulling pranks on them. It's just a prank, bro. But it was
essentially the equivalent of, a punked, but,
yeah, it was
British and nowhere near as good.
It was 90s. It was pure 90s. And in one of those, he had a character called Mr. Blobby, which was basically a joke, as it was this horrific character that was supposed to be beloved by children. But the joke is that he was immensely popular, and so they kept bringing him back. And, well, it spiraled from there into a top 10, well, a number 1 records for Christmas, I think, 93 or 4. This also came out in 1994 as well to capitalize all those little children that desperately wanted to play Mr. Blobby.
It was Blobby Mania at the end of the day, wasn't it?
It absolutely was. Much like the Beatles before him.
I don't know what's worse, that Mr. Blobby got to #1 Christmas 1993, or that he beat Meatloaf.
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
He knocked Meatloaf out of the #1 spot.
He would do anything for Blob, but he won't do that.
It was that song as well.
Yep, I could tell. So, you'll notice here that I'm just trying to efficiently climb ladders, jump down ladders, etc., etc. This is the biggest level, arguably the biggest level in the game. Ow, that hurt, but that's okay. I need to take some damage anyway. We actually take an intentional death in this run. Just coming up a little bit later.
So what you're saying is that there is the concept of death warps contained within this very silly game.
Absolutely, yes. So, basically, well, we'd kind of use a death warp in that, like, depending on where you kill Blobby, you kind of respawn in a certain place, and so some places are better than others, because obviously, as you can see, it takes a lot of effort just to get into a certain place. And so, if you get warped back to it, it's very bad. But I've kind of worked out an optimal place to kill Blobby. And I'll be doing that in a minute.
But don't worry, folks, because even though we've just said that Blobby will, be sadly leaving us, he doesn't really end up perishing. He's eternal. He will always exist.
Exactly. So what happens is Mr. Blobby, the game, has a live system. And the life system basically involves the other members of the Blobby family. So when Mr. Blobby is out of action, he returns to that house you saw at the start, and he becomes a sleeping character. And once a character is sleeping, it means that they're out of action. And so Mrs. Blobby and Baby Blobby take over the action. And you'll see in a moment when we do take that death. Wait, why is my health so high? I thought I took a damage. Interesting.
You took 1 pip of damage off of a set of spikes, but you might have recovered some from a pickup.
Yeah, see, the thing is, we don't... A lot of science needs to be done on Mr. Blobby, because I still don't know exactly how to, regain health, and that would be quite useful for the, Blobby percent, which is the run of the game where we, complete all the levels, because there are also bonus levels, and that's why we take the intentional death, basically. So I'm going to die here, hopefully, if the spikes play ball. There we go. And this should send me back a ways to the left, which means that I don't lose as much time.
Cheeky spiking there.
There's Mrs. Blobby. You can tell
The
it's
Blobby
Mrs. Blobby
mix.
because of the bow and the pearl necklace, of course. Oh, so actually, I respawned exactly where I was, which isn't what happened yesterday when I did that. Interesting.
Maybe it really is random and just
a
few times you've had the same result. And that.
I wish I knew all of the details involved, and someday I will. I'll crack the science, and I'll understand all of the mysteries that Blobby holds. But until that day,
Garlips, I really hate to disappoint you, my friend, but I don't think that's possible. No one's really going to end up understanding Blobby. Really?
Yeah, as I was going to say, you said that the science needs to be done on Mr. Blobby. I'm thinking the game or the actual eldritch creature that has managed to worm its way into the hearts of the British public.
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing, because, Mr. Blobby was gone for a long time, and many people would have said that, we were never going to see him again. But recently, I would say, as of sort of like 2020, he's been having a weird resurgence in the British consciousness.
Didn't he show up for like a wrestling match or something?
He might have.
Yes, he has indeed. He's actually competed in independent wrestling promotions, and I believe that is alongside Dave Benson Phillips, who's also ended up wrestling.
Wow! Yeah.
British wrestling ends up typically having a lot of weird references and weird things that happen, and surprises. So, do support your local scene if there's one near you.
I will never get over the fact that Les Battersby from Coronation Street started wrestling.
Well, we love deprecating humour here. It's one of the best British traits that we have.
Yes, another one, an institution being Mr. Blobby. Quite often I have American people from the rest of the world in my chat, and they're just every time they're bowled over by Mr. Blobby. They just don't know what to make of him.
InstaSim saying that's never happened before, and indeed it has never happened before with the Death Warp not quite functioning as Garlips would like.
Yes. Oh, look at that guy up there. Wow, he's having a party. So what's going to happen? We're nearing the end of the run now. I'm in the last section of gates. What we're going to do is basically, when the level ends, there's like a 30-second wait time if you haven't picked up all of the items, but I hopefully will have picked up all the items. Also, this is a clock. I'm using it because basically you have to use all of the usable items to cut that 30-second wait off at the end of the level. And also, it gives us a Blobby back. That's how you get your Blobbies back in the main game.
Oh, it's not to backseat all that much, but why couldn't you throw the clock at that shoe there?
That is a very good idea.
I'm looking at it going, why didn't you throw the shoe instead? Because that will eliminate the enemy as well as using up the item without having that cutscene.
Absolutely correct. I can't believe I haven't thought of that. Thank you very much for that great idea. We might be lowering the world record later.
Excellent. Stay tuned and check out Garlips.
Oh no, I've missed an item.
No. Well, improvements to be made.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll still be way under estimate, so that's fine.
Oh yeah.
But yes, I think that's very intelligent theory crafting there, Mr. Matt. Thank you.
No problems, no problems. I'd recommend getting that finger ready for that timer soon.
Yes, time will be coming up very shortly. Basically, once we see the screen with the Blobby family on it. Oh, by the way, the evil mist has been banished. And time. There it is.
Stare into their eyes. Stare into their eyes.
I mean, I don't know what's more horrifying, the fact that Mr. Blobby has a family, or that Mr. Blobby has procreated and created a new lineage of Blobby that will continue to haunt us for years to come.
I'm just looking at the house. It looks like it's about to burst.
What? I love the fact that the Blobby household has actually ended up having an anti-gravity push that affects the other buildings around it. That's how powerful Blobby is.
They also have a Sky dish and a Virgin Media dish as well, although other dishes are available.
I don't know why that got me.
Do I need to say that we're not sponsored by Sky and Virgin now?
Yeah, we are not affiliated in any way by Sky or Virgin Media.
Hey, I forgot to speak about our actual affiliates. They're actually linked down below. So the music that you hear in the interval is from Epidemic Sound. I can talk about them because we're actually affiliated with them. There's a link down below that if you click on that link, we get a little cutback from it. So that's something you can do. Other links that come up, there's other links down there as well. So you've got Host World. So when you make a donation, it goes through what I call the InstaSim API. And that's hosted on Host World, so that's them. And there's also Code Weavers. They provide, so if you've got a MacBook or if you've got a Linux thing or whatever, you can have they have a software which allows you to run Windows apps on Mac and Linux essentially, which is really, really good. So again, if you use those links down in the description below and you purchase the services, then we get a little cutback as well. You'll notice the other links scrolling through as well. So you've got the Explore logo, because obviously we're at the Explore Science Discovery Centre in Wrexham. So if anyone wants to come and watch us in person, you can do by just coming to the Explore Science Discovery Centre in Wrexham. And you've also got Epiclan. They've provided pretty much all of the kit that we're using today and over the weekend. So I want to say a huge shout out and a huge thank you to them as well for providing us with that amazing kit. Because without a company like Epiclan, this probably wouldn't be possible.
Fantastic.
Right. Final time for you was 10 minutes and 23 seconds.
I'll take that. It's about a minute and a change over the world record, but we did have that long wait of 30 seconds added. So, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Cool. So we're going to go over now to our next run, which is, funnily enough, going to be Garlips again. So that's going to be the Chant the Gloom Below. The categories of the Gloom Below Neophyte story, and that'll be taking place in about 5-10 minutes time. We're just going to let Garlips set up. I'm going to put the interval back on and put some music on for you all from our good friends from Epidemic Sound, who we are actually affiliated by. And we can actually say their name. You can say their name in the stream as much as you like, by the way. But yeah,
Wonderful.
so we're going to put some more music on during the interval so that Garlips can set up for his next run. Is there anything that you'd like to say to end before we finish off with Mr. Blobby?
I think we'll probably save all of our shout-outs for the next run, but all I will say is please run Mr. Blobby. It's a great game, it's very fun, and it doesn't take long.
It's also the pinnacle of Britishness.
Exactly.
Oh, and donate to everyone can.
Absolutely. Donate to everyone can as well and get those donations in, and I will read them out periodically as they come in as well. So thank you guys for the run, and well, we'll see you in 5 minutes.